Good evening, friends. We'll start with today's session. Uh, this month we have a lot of holidays because there are many more appointments which are there with me. So as far as possible, I'm trying to continue with the sessions, but still there will be many more appointments further also. So we'll have a break, but uh, till it goes on, we'll continue. Okay. So we have finished the homeopathic management of the one-sided diseases, both varieties, the one-sided diseases of the internal variety as well as one-sided diseases which appears externally in the form of local diseases. And in detail, the homeopathic management of them. The local diseases caused due to some external cause and local diseases caused because of internal cause. The detailed explanation how to manage, what are the pros and cons, what if we never get a clear remedy, what type of totality we should take into consideration while treating those, how they should be treated internally only without applying anything externally, even though if it is miasmatic, how accordingly a proper miasmatic remedy should be given internally. All those aspects of the homeopathic management of internal diseases he has tried to explain over there in this in those aphorisms. And now in the concluding part of this, the last 5 6 aphorisms 205 to 209, these are related with the homeopathic treatment or management of the general chronic diseases. So we'll start with the aphorism number 206, what he wants to explain, and just go ahead. Because there is not so much of difference between the homeopathic management of one-sided diseases and chronic diseases, but little bit the things which he wants to explain, which he has mentioned over there. So we'll start with aphorism number 206. Before commencing the treatment of chronic disease, it is necessary to make the most careful investigation as to whether the patient has had a venereal infection or an infection with condylomatous gonorrhea. For then the treatment must be directed towards this alone. Only when only the signs of syphilis or of the rarer condylomatous disease are present, but this disease is very seldom met with alone nowadays. If such infection have previously occurred, this must also be borne in mind in the treatment of those cases in which sora is present, because in them the latter is complicated with the former, as is always the case when the symptoms are not those of pure syphilis. For when physician thinks he has a case of old venereal disease before him, he has always or almost always to treat the syphilitic affection accompanied mostly by the complicated with sora. For the internal is dyscrasia, the SORA is far the most frequent fundamental cause of chronic diseases. At times, both miasms may be complicated also with psychosis in chronically diseased organisms. And as is much more frequently the case, SORA is the sole fundamental cause of all other chronic maladies. Whatever names they may bear, which are moreover so often bungled, increased, and disfigured to a monstrous extent by allopathic unskillfulness. So now he tried to explain the concept of mixed miasmatic problems. Chronic diseases, already he has mentioned, they are either caused because of SORA alone, either caused because of psychosis alone, either caused because of syphilis alone. So suppressed gonorrhea, suppressed syphilis, these are the commonest causes in order to develop the secondary features of the SORA, psychosis, and syphilis. But many a times it happens that we get cases which are not purely syphilitic or which are not purely psychotic. He says over there, the original background miasm is always there, the SORA. So they become mixed miasmatic. Many a times they become sorosyphilitic. Many a times they become soro-psychotic. Sometimes all three miasms comes together, the soro-psychosyphilitic, or sometimes it is psychosyphilitic. So maybe there are multiple permutations and combinations of those disorders happens. And if such types of patients are there, you get in fact more complicated or complex cases. These are little bit difficult to treat because here the two miasms comes together. And how to manage them, that also he mentions over there. There is also one footnote to this paragraph where he mentions what exactly he wants to say about it. There is a footnote number 120, which is related with careful investigation word. So what exactly mean by careful investigation? This is what he wants to explain. In investigations of this nature, we must not allow ourselves to be deceived by assertions of the patients or their friends, who frequently assign as the cause of chronic, even of the severest and most inveterate disease, either a cold caught, a thorough waiting, drinking, or cold water after being eaten many years ago, or a former fright, a sprain, a vexation, sometimes even bewitchment. Bewitchment म्हणजे अतिशय आनंद होणे, bewitchment, etc. These causes are much too insignificant to develop a chronic disease in a healthy body, to keep it up for years and to aggravate it year by year, and as is the case with all chronic diseases from developed sorrow. So he is explaining exactly the cause of chronic diseases. Many times patient comes to us. They talks, yes, doctor, I had a very bad cold 3 years back, and since then I am suffering from this. There are some people who comes to you, there was tension 3 years back because of which I am suffering so and so. He says that if there is a chronic disease, they are not because of such trivial causes. It never happens because of that. Even though the patient alleged means he ठासून सांगणे, एखादी गोष्ट प्रेस करून बोलणं. So even though it has expressed in such a manner. So he explains over there that these are not the real causes of chronic diseases. Real causes of chronic diseases are always hidden in the miasms. So you have to investigate the miasms. You have to investigate Sora. You have to investigate the psychosis. You have to investigate the syphilis. And for them, for that purpose, it is necessary to ask the detailed history. Many a times, in specifically when we practice in India, people tries to hide such a things. They never talks you freely. Then they keep this as a secret because they feel that what the other person will think if he will going to tell about the history of venereal disease earlier, and that's why he hides. So if you feel that like that, it is your art with which you have to ask the patient and tell them that yes, without, if you will hide certain things, you will get a wrong remedy. You, if you want really get cured, you must explain me all the details. You have to warn the patients. If you warn them, then you will get the proper history. If you don't warn them, you will not get the proper history. There was just one example of 1 month back. There was a couple who came to me, and both of them were suffering from the severe urethritis. Urethritis, as well as she has suffered from his wife. She has suffered from vaginitis, and I took the actually my students, they took the case. They have taken all details, but both of them never explained anything, and it was there since last 10 years. They have tried many allopathic medicines since last 10 years, and both of them were suffering a lot. Every time they had a contact, they used to suffer a lot, and it was not getting cured. And then I asked what investigations you have done. They said we have done it 10 years back and nothing was there, and we everything was fine, and still we are suffering, and we have taken so much of treatment, etc. Then I asked that fellow directly, asked him that his wife should wait outside, and I have taken him alone and asked it privately, have you suffered any time with such types of problems before that? Have you extramarital contacts earlier? First, he denied, but after some time, he entered in my room. He asked me, I want to talk to you privately. And then he explained, yes, sir, what you said is very correct. It has happened 10 years back, but it was not known to anyone. Such a thing happens in many a time. So unless and until you get proper history, you cannot treat. And this is needed when you deal with such types of disorders, specifically when you are dealing with the venereal disorder. This thing is very much necessary. And this he wants to explain over there, that such cases are not because of simple causes like that there was a history of catching cold or swimming in water or getting dropped off air. It never causes any chronic disease. If chronic disease has to happen, there must be either SORA or psychosis or syphilis. The main causes of all those diseases, the basic behind that is the fundamental cause, to which Hahnemann labels by the name of SORA. So this explains, and then what he says, causes of much more important character than these remembered noxious influences must lie at the root of the root of the initiation and progress of serious obstinate disease of long standing. The assigned the assigned causes, assigned म्हणजे सांगितलेले, the assigned causes could only rouse up into activity the latent chronic miasm. So assigned causes means the exciting causes. The exciting causes are only responsible to excite the miasm. The miasm was there already, which was in latent phase. Exciting causes happens because of which the excitement happens and person reacts. So such a thing happens many a times. You feel that it is because of such causes like a draft of air or getting wet in rainy season. These are very superficial causes, and that's why Hahnemann explained them by the name of prima causa morbi. He said that these are only superficial causes of the disease. If you are dealing with any chronic disorder, there always lies in the behind the fundamental cause, the SORA, as well as many a times, depending upon the situation, maybe a psychosis, maybe a syphilis, or sometimes a mixed miasmatic picture. So in this aphorism, in 206, he wants to explain, yes, that there might be a possibility of the mixed miasmatic traits which are available, and if such mixed miasmatic traits are there, they are always difficult to treat. They're not easily going to get cured, where you have to understand basically what exactly the miasm is there behind that. And once you understand those, then it becomes quite easy task to treat. So here he starts explaining about the mixed miasmatic trait and how to treat those mixed miasmatic trait that he wants to explain. One more aphorism will finish in today's session, 207, and then we'll stop. When above information has been gained, it still remains for the homeopathic physician to ascertain what kinds of allopathic treatment had up to that date been adopted for the chronic disease, what perturbing medicines had been chiefly and most frequently employed, also what mineral baths had been used, and what effects these had produced in order to understand some measure of the degeneration of the disease from the original state, and where possible, to correct in part these pernicious artificial operations. These pernicious artificial operations, or to enable him to avoid the employment of medicines that have already been improperly used. So, how to deal with such types of disorder? First important thing which he explains over there, when you are dealing with such disorders, first understand which are the medicines which are already given. Because many times the case has been complicated because of the use of allopathic medicines. Many times it happens. You never understand why the person is not getting cured. You never understand. You, and for that purpose, Hahnemann says it is your duty to ask exactly which are the medicines he has consumed, whether he has consumed any allopathic medicine, whether he has consumed any Ayurvedic medicine, whether he has consumed or done mineral bath treatments or such a things, which because of which the disease has suppressed or at least palliated and complicated. And if it is so, then you have to understand the depth of the miasm, because of which the disease has traveled from the secondary to tertiary stage, or sometimes primary to secondary stage. And this is the result behind, reason behind that. Many a times, many such medicines create the problem. Nowadays, you get very complicated cases of the AVN, avascular necrosis of femoral head, and they are because of the COVID, which was treated with strong steroids for longer time of duration, and patients are suffering because of that. These are the complexes which forms because of medicines. Many times you get the cases where the whole body is puffed up of the patient, and then you ask what medicine you are taking, and you see that there are medicines which are steroids which are used for longer time of duration. There is one more new funda which is going on. The people's by on the name of Ayurveda, they give some powder form medicines, and many people from the villages, they are taking those powders and they feel better after taking those powders, and their rheumatism is better with that, and they are suffering from chronic kidney disease. One of such powder we have sent to a Glaxo lab to exactly what it contains to match. Because that lady who has shown me that powder, she said, Doctor, if you don't mind, I know this, that it is a test of betnesol tablet. So she was from very big family. She said, we'll investigate it. And then when we sent it to the laboratory, Glaxo laboratory, there were nearly about in one packet of powder which she used to consume one time. If there are 5 betnesol tablets, they are crushed, and such a thing happens. So see, she was brilliant enough that with first dose itself she understood that how, doctor, how can it be one dose of it made me normal, and the test definitely bit of a wetness. She was brilliant enough because of which it was known. So such a thing happens, and many times the very complex disorder develops, and these are the results of originally chronic diseases caused because of miasms plus suppressed with the allopathic treatment. And when such a thing happens, we get a complex disorders. So homeopathic management of chronic diseases, the mixed miasmatic traits and the miasmatic traits treated with allopathic medicines, all things he wants to explain over there, and how to manage all those things that he wants to explain. So we'll stop over here. Tomorrow we'll continue with the aphorism 208. I think whole aphorism we have to give total 1 hour, because very important thing which he has tried to explain. Actually, I have taken seminar on this aphorism earlier on YouTube, but being a part and parcel of this Organon, will work on it again. So we'll conclude today. If there are any queries, we can have. Otherwise, we stop. Any question? Any query?
Sir, सर आता बऱ्याचदा स्किन अफेक्शन्स मध्ये जेव्हा आपल्याकडे पेशंट येतो तेव्हा आपण म्हणजे आपल्या याच्यामध्ये पण भरपूर असे ऑइंटमेंट्स वगैरे आहेत सर. तर मग अलॉंग विथ जी इंडिकेटेड रेमेडी त्याच्यासोबत आपण ते लोकल ऍप्लिकेशन द्यायला हवं का सर?
As far as possible, no. Because many times it suppresses. If you are treating it and with proper remedy, and if it is not disappearing completely, but you have chosen very perfect simillimum after span of 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, yes, you might use. But generally, to start with treatment, absolutely not. This is too important. You can use, yes, white petroleum jelly. You can use as a moisturizing effect, or any moisturizer that you can use in treatment, or coconut oil simple that you can use. But sulfur ointments, or there are many more which should be avoided as far as possible, should not be in fact. Anything else?
थँक्यू सर.
Hello, sir.
Huh?
Sir, if we are treating any patient for behavioral problems like temper tantrums, and we give any anti-miasmatic remedy,
Hmm.
which we think it suits to the patient,
Hmm.
and after giving that remedy, if there are papular rash over the skin,
Hmm.
and patient is 20 to 30% better in
Hmm.
behavior,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
then sir, what to do in such case? Whether to repeat next potency or what to do?
If rash is coming, it is a very good thing. If rash is
Okay.
appearing, it is a very good thing. Then it is necessary to wait. You should not immediately change prescription. In fact, wait and watch. Give the placebo and let us see after 15 days, 1 month, as far as possible. Because it is a very good sign. Behavioral problems, when get settled and decreasing and rash is appearing, it is a very good sign. Then you definitely your work remedy is working. Then you can go for high, but with pause, with at least 1 month, 1.5 months break. You should not repeat it too speedily. So you should not immediately start giving increasing the potency. Wait for at least 30 to 40 days.
Okay, sir.
But it's
Thank
a
you.
very good sign. If it is appearing, let it be. Then don't change the medicine immediately. You can go better with the high potency.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So today we'll conclude and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.